heading back to school seems to bring up a few stressors year after year. It's common for students to fret over memorizing their locker combination or reading in front of the class. Parents often worry about keeping kids safe online. Well, in today's Tech Check, we wrap it all up. Deseret News columnist Amy Iverson offering solutions for those common back-to-school concerns. And some of these worries are so universal. I have to imagine that's what app creators had in mind.
Yes, I love hearing the stories of why they created the apps, and often it's just they had a personal experience. They don't want someone else to go through the same thing, so they're making it better for all of us.
You remember the panic in front of the locker, like when it didn't
yes.
open?
So many high school kids don't even use them anymore.
That's true.
But middle school, I think it's more prevalent.
Let's start there for the middle schooler that needs to learn how to open their locker.
Yes, I talked to James Randolph. He's the one who developed this app. He told me when he was in middle school, he was so nervous. He made his mom take him over there one weekend just so he could practice.
I did too.
Over you.
I did.
So he could practice over and over. And he thought, how can I help people learn how to do this and not have to go there?
Yeah.
So he created this app. It's called Practice Lock. It's $1. Okay, I programmed in, I'm gonna let you try it.
Okay.
A combination, and it gives kids a step-by-step instruction. You know, go right this way, pass it, go left this way, pass it. And then once you get that down, you can go without the instructions. But what I love is you can program your combo in there. There were some other free apps that had, number one, a lot of ads, or number two, you just had to do whatever combination it had.
Yeah.
This one, you put in your personal combination, so then you can also memorize the combination as well as how to do it.
It even has the vibration.
Yeah, I loved that too.
Click.
You kind of feel the clicking as you go around.
Yeah, I did it. I did it.
So I'm gonna say that's a big one, and it would really help kids not be so nervous.
Peace of mind. And like you said, maybe not necessary by high school, and by then they hopefully know, but for middle schoolers going into the 7th grade year, yes, absolutely.
Okay, we talked about reading in front of the class. Everyone seems to have a story of when they got very nervous.
I told Amy a horror story of my dear friend Matt that I still remember from anatomy chapter. That's all I'm gonna say. And he had to read out a body part out loud, and it didn't go well for him. It didn't go well for him. How can we practice this?
Okay, so Google Play Books. It might not be something you're using right now. We're gonna try this too for you. So Google Play Books, there's some paid, but a lot of free books that you can just download and your kids can read them. But new is called Reading Practice.
Okay.
And so they can open up a book. I opened this one for you.
Let's see.
If you want to push the little speaker there, it'll start reading for us.
Okay. Maybe.
And so what happens is either you can read it yourself, or the woman or man reading the book will read it for you.
What am I doing wrong?
And if we're just not hearing it, it's okay.
Sorry.
But if there is a word that your child doesn't quite get, oftentimes you're there with your child, right, helping them read. But if it's independent read time, they can touch that word and it'll say it. They can touch it as many times as they need to learn how to say that word. You can also get a definition. Just all those things that help kids learn a word, learn how to pronounce it, and remember it.
Well, and there's a different confidence that comes from reading out loud. So them being able to do this in their own space, in their own safe zone, I think is really helpful. Nice.
Yes, and the last one again came from a personal experience of a dad who was just noticing some problems with social media and his high school. We know there are these new laws going into effect here in Utah, right, with social media.
Schools are going to have to adapt, I'd imagine.
Schools will need to adapt, and so as people are using there's one called Parent Square, a lot of schools are using, but it just pushes to social media, traditional social media, with some boundaries. Schoolbinder is a local app. It takes it a step farther. It has its own social feed on there. So it's not pushing you to those traditional social networks. It has its own feed, so it assigns like people. So you're gonna have all these different groups who can post to it, but it has to be approved by an administrator. He felt like this solved a couple things. One, there's no comments or likes or anything like that, so no popularity contest.
Posting.
And then also, it gets more clubs and groups involved. He felt like a lot of the lesser groups or teams or clubs weren't getting that big social feed going on. This makes sure that everyone has a representative doing it and it's safe.
So it becomes a school platform then?
It is all for the school. So that's where you're going to see announcements, lunch menus, calendars, but it's all on one app or on the web.
Very smart.
And then has that integrated social feed.
Very
so
smart.
I'm just recommending check with your school this year to see how they're handling these changes. And so you can be just as involved as you were before.
Very wise. Do we have links for these in your columns?
Yes, Deseret.com/Amy.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Very helpful.